Hey, Alexia, how are you doing? Alexia and I have been recording so many podcasts today because our internet has been so spotty, which means it has been unreliable. So we are kind of at our last little bit of energy.
Yes, after a huge day of work, a lot of classes, a lot of work, of course. It's 8:35 p.m. right now, and we are tired, but we are here to talk about something that is very, very interesting.
Talk about what?
One thing that is very, very interesting.
Voila. Like some
Please don't do that.
thing.
Something.
Some
Something.
thing. Chiam.
Huh?
Chiam.
Também, amor.
Okay, today we're going to talk about blue zones. So yesterday we talked about happiness. Today we're going to continue talking about health and longevity and just living the good life, whatever that means to you. So Alexia, do you know what blue zones are?
I think that are the areas where people get oldest and stay healthiest.
Okay. What do you mean by that? Because I think you're reading my notes.
No, because I mean, places that are like people live in community and they have to walk a lot and do stuff right there, and they eat from local producers and things like that.
Yeah. So full disclosure, I made Alexia already watch a TED Talk on blue zones. So blue zones are just places where people live the longest. So technically, blue zones are places that have the most centenarians. Do you know what that word means?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
É, pessoas com 100 anos de idade.
Centenarians are people that are 100 years old or older. People that live to be over 100 years old.
Yeah.
So old.
My grandfather, he died with 97 years old.
He died when he was 97. Yeah, my grandfather is 90. Both my grandparents are 95 right now. And my great grandfather died when he was 104.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Holy shit. I'm 28 years old. Some days I feel like I'm going to die. What are these people doing? And that's what blue zones are talking about. So, like I said, I just kind of wanted to dive in a little bit into this idea of blue zones. I've been reading about the people that live longest on Earth and why they do that, and I think it's super interesting. So, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So, first of all, simple definition, blue zones are the areas in the world that have the most people that live to be over 100 years old. So these are the healthiest places in the world.
Portugal.
Yeah.
The entire Portugal, only old people.
Yeah, Portugal's actually not a blue zone. It's like all 90-year-olds, but it's getting there. It's getting there. Alexia, do you have any idea? Do you have any guesses before we talk about it? What makes people live longer or shorter?
I think that the three things are food, exercising, but not like going to the gym. I'm saying like move yourself, and maybe drinks as well.
What kind of drinks?
Wine.
Right now we're drinking wine.
Huh?
Right now we're drinking wine.
Yeah, that's what my grandfather used to tell me. Every night during dinner, you should have half of a glass of wine and you live really, really
I hope he's
longer.
right. You always hear these stories of like, oh, my great grandfather, he lived to be 108 years old and he smoked 2 packs of cigarettes a day and drank 2 glasses of wine. So we're going to try to put a little bit of science into this. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I read a book about blue zones And first thing, food. Food is hugely important. So what I read was all of the blue zones in the world. That means all of the places that have the most people that live to be over 100 years old have a largely plant-based diets. What do you think about that?
I think that, yeah, first of all, if you cook your own food and you know where it's coming from and there is no toxins
Perfect.
and it's not all about fast foods and everything like this, of course, you will be healthier.
Perfect. But you know what was really crazy to me, Alexia, is we've talked a lot about becoming vegetarians and
Did we?
well, between ourselves, maybe not live on the podcast, but about eating meat. And this guy in his book, he argues that eating animal meat is directly related with if you just do not eat animals, that automatically, if you do it in the right way, will add 4 years to your life. Something to think about.
Yeah, we are not talking about right now. If you are vegetarian, please continue. We are not against it or whatever. We are just talking about a concept of blue zones.
Yeah.
Yes, just to make it clear.
Yeah. Something funny he said, though, was if you eat a can of beans a day, so
Can of beans means pote de feijão.
Yeah. So a can of beans. If you eat a can of beans a day, that increases your lifespan by 4 years. So a can of beans a day means you will live 4 years longer.
Well, we learned in Brazil that our main
Brazil's
dish is
crushing it.
beans, rice, and any kind of protein. So always black beans if you are from Rio or feijão carioca, anything like that. So we are good with that.
Exactly. So the first thing is food that he argues a plant-based diet is very good for longevity. Secondly, he argues that family and community are essential. Fundamentally, what he's arguing is purpose.
You had to be part of something to make sense.
The coolest thing that he talked about is, I don't remember the word, but in Japanese, they have a word that essentially means the reason you wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
That in Japanese, there's this word that's like ikai or something. That means the reason you wake up in the morning. That if you have that word, or if you wake up in the morning and you just know why. Like when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, Alexia, you know this better than anyone. When you wake me up, I'm like, I don't want to, please, let me sleep. But these old Japanese women that are living to be 115 years old, they wake up and they're like, oh, I need to cook the rice. You know, if you have that purpose in life, expands your lifespan by 8 years. That if you have a purpose in life, you'll live 8 years longer.
But right now, we have a lot of purposes. Like, we need to make the dogs alive. We are taking care.
The dogs are killing me.
Dogs.
I don't care about purpose. These dogs, they are taking day by day. Is a year off my life.
Our happiness as a couple and as co-workers and being happy with what we do, making money with what we do, and have a lot of people supporting us. And please help me get to 10,000 followers on Instagram. That's all I need right now, people. This is my purpose on life.
So we're talking about old Japanese ladies that have a real purpose.
This is my real purpose. I really want to swipe up.
So when you wake up in the morning, you think about your purpose for living, for being on planet Earth, for being in the universe, which we don't even know
10,000 followers
why we
on
exist.
Instagram. You had to agree with me. We need that.
I mean, okay, the next point. is physical activity and stress reduction. So, in this book, Blue Zones, they argue really hard against CrossFit and high intensity training.
Which I love.
The best thing is
Pure
just
bar.
like all of these people that live to be 120 years old, all they do all day is walk up and down hills.
Well, we are doing pretty fine with that.
So what they really argue is low intensity training all day.
Yeah.
So if you think about CrossFit, that induces a lot of stress, and stress induces a lot of inflammation. And essentially, inflammation is what causes all of these diseases, dementia, and heart attacks, and all those things.
Of course, he is generalizing. Generalizing. But it's interesting to think about it, that you need to be healthier with your food and what you're drinking. You need to be part of your community, and you need to give value to your family, and you need to have a purpose on your life to wake up and do everything that you need to on your day.
The last thing
Oh my
Alexia,
God, we
that
still
we
have
have to
more.
say is the most important thing is you are a part of a community.
Yeah, of course, you need to be part of a community to make your life value.
So I know it's windy. I know Alexia's cold and she's dying. But the craziest fact that I read in this book, that he said if you have 3 to 5 friends that you can really count on. So we're talking about 3 to 5 real friends. Now I want everyone to sit down and think about this. Do you have 3 to 5 real friends that if you call them, if you text them, they will put down everything and they will help you no matter what your situation is? If you have those people, that adds 8 years to your life expectancy.
That's nice.
So think about that. Bruna, Sloan, seriously, John, all my friends, 3 to 5 really good friends that you know have your back in any situation, seriously gives you a lot more life.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
Okay, so if we don't die before the next podcast, we will talk to you guys tomorrow.
Okay, bye.